Good evening and welcome to Primetime News, coming to you live and direct from the Newsfirst studios here in Colombo. I'm Bernadine Jayasinghe.
I'm Chaturanga Porachi. Let's take a look at the headlines.
President Maithripala Sirisena is chief guest for Pakistan Republic Day celebrations. Special Assistant to Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe, Sudat Chandrasekhara, issues 7-page resignation letter. Deputy Minister Nishantha Muthuhettigama gives reasons for signing the no-confidence motion. Attorneys state a simple majority is required to win the no-confidence motion.
This morning, the Pakistan Republic Day celebrations were held in Islamabad on a grand scale, with Sri Lankan President Maithripala Sirisena attending as the chief guest.
The President was welcomed by the Prime Minister of Pakistan, Shahid Khaqan Abbasi. The ceremony began following the arrival of the dignitaries, including the presidents of both countries. The program featured the Tri-Forces Parade, cultural pageant and an air show. Military forces from Bahrain, Jordan and the United Arab Emirates also joined the celebrations. The Republic Day parade and pageant were filled with vivid cultural shows that lasted for around 3 hours.
Pakistan's 78th Republic Day was celebrated in Colombo this morning as well. The High Commission of the Islamic Republic of Pakistan and the Pakistani community based in Sri Lanka celebrated in traditional style.
The acting High Commissioner of Pakistan hoisted the national flag of Pakistan and read out the message of the Pakistani President. The acting High Commissioner also extended sincere greetings and best wishes on behalf of the government and people of Pakistan to the government and people of Sri Lanka for the continued progress, peace, national unity, reconciliation and harmony in the years ahead. The ceremony was attended by a large number of participants, including members of the Sri Lanka-Pakistan Friendship, Trade and Investment Association, Sri Lanka-Pakistan Business Council and the Pakistani community based in Sri Lanka.
Appearing on the Newsline program this morning, General Secretary of the United National Freedom Front, Maitri Gunaratne, expressed these views on UNP leader Ranil Wickremesinghe and the party's working committee.
So at any cost, he will ensure that he is in power, and even the working committee for us. I mean, look at the people he has put into the working committee. None of them talk. If you talk, you're out. The working committee, if you voice an idea which is against the party leadership, at the next working committee or the next time election is due, you will not be elected. You don't have to listen to X, Z and Y. But if you have a 50-member working committee or I think the UNP working committee 90 members.
Right.
If there is a 90-member working committee coming from all parts of the country, all walks of life, the idea is for the party leader or the leadership to accept any kind of idea and see what is happening.
Sudat Chandrasekhara, who worked as private secretary to UNP leader Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe for more than 3 decades and who served as special assistant, has resigned from that position. He has submitted a 7-page resignation letter to Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe.
Honorable Mr. Ranil Wickremesinghe, resignation from service. Honorable Prime Minister, leader. The future of the country and the party has reached a tragic crossroad. For this, chiefly, the individual who is ultimately responsible is you, which is why I thought of writing this letter. My understanding of your character, actions and plans goes beyond all others. Your main characteristic when you are given power is that you go into an imaginary world designed for you. This is the cause of all ills. If one sees you occasionally commending or thanking, it is at a time when you are helpless. You don't know what gratefulness is, or pretending to not know it is your cunning action. Had I seen in you this basic quality that should be showed by a leader, I would, regardless of whether it's night or day, have fulfilled the dream of making you president a long time ago. However, I feel that now we are too late. You continue to make it a dream which will never come true. My hopes, yours as well as the hopes of all party loyalists, have now completely gone to waste. Not only have you completely destroyed your image, you continue to destroy the party as well. Then, what I had for you was a special respectful love. But at this moment, you are destroying the party through your behavior and your inability to take decisions. The Flower Bud obtained a significant victory at this election, not because of their extraordinary skill, but because of your diluted leadership. You cannot delay any further. If that happens, everything will propel towards destruction. At a time when party supporters were enraged when they heard the name Ranil, and when they stood against you as one, and when there was no one who stepped up on behalf of you, when you were rendered helpless, the communication unit set up by me, in the midst of all these threats, insults and intimidation, courageously moved from village to village to change the mindset of the party supporters. I provided leadership for that. Not only that, I succeeded in recruiting 36,000 members, 576 electoral officers, 7,800 strong and sound party activists, and 134 mentors. I can say it with pride that I managed to transform the communication unit as the most active branch of the organization to have been ever created in the party. Back then, the party was not even able to muster a single meeting with your leadership, and at that time, the communication unit managed to hold the most successful May Day March and May Day Rally in Kurunegala. For the operations and activities of the communication unit, I never obtained a red cent from the party, and it was all done until today with the assistance of my friends. The communication unit comprises of the elephants that pull the weight to protect you and the party. It was from you that I learned that elephants who pull the weight will never be allowed to take part in the parade. When you took oaths as the Prime Minister, it was a victory for us because it bore fruit to all our dreams. At several times I requested you to host a reception at Temple Trees to celebrate this win and say thank you to all. But what you told me was to refer the matter to Sagala. It has been 3 years since I made that request, and I am ashamed and disappointed for not being able to make that a reality. I have been rendered helpless in the presence of my colleagues. If this is the fate that has befallen me for going beyond my official capacity and committing myself for you, what else can I say about the innocent party supporters? Once we were elected into power, when we were providing political appointments, I handed over to you a list of 50 names from the communications unit on a number of occasions. However, not a single person from that list has been given an appointment. This is because they did not go to Royal College and were elephants who pulled the weight and were not part of the parades. If they are given at least the slightest recognition, they would undoubtedly pull the weight on behalf of you forever. However, when some of our members were chasing ministers for appointments and positions, they received a certain response, and that is, "You work for Ranil, so go ask it from him." If the procession organized against you by the group led by Shira Laktilaka and Maitri Gunratna reached Colombo from Mathura back then, you becoming the Prime Minister in the present day would have just become a dream. Back then, together with Mangal Samaravira, I provided leadership to the Cinnamon Pole Army and steered the groups headed by the communications unit to protect you and the party. As everyone else had done, you too had forgotten that. After you were elected as the Prime Minister, I requested you to call to Temple Trees the 86 people who were named as defendants in the Cinnamon Pole case and appreciate them. However, I feel ashamed to say that you have not even provided an opportunity for that as well. 3 of them have already passed away. 2 will be paralyzed forever. Why? Because they were beaten and because they were shot at when they took to the streets to protect you. Today, they are helpless. All they can do is to bear the cost for court hearings and their daily refreshments and return home cursing you every single day. We have to now assume more than 1,000 times whether we have been cursed by the gods who have been angered because we protected you. Last week, at the conclusion of the Cinnamon Pole case at the Mathura court, after looking at the sorrow on the faces of those people and what they had to say with the rage in their hearts, what I felt was the day they take the cinnamon pole to their hands against you is not far away. As before, I will never think twice of providing leadership to them. I cannot in any way betray them and avoid leaning them. Whenever our party is elected to power, the party forgets about the party supporters who elected it and only think about oneself and close associates. When that was taking place, I must have mentioned it to you more than 100 times that we were making the wrong move. The party cannot survive without the party supporters, and likewise the government cannot survive without the party. I have pleaded with you on countless occasions to give priority to the party over close associates. However, those pleas fell on deaf ears. During the recent years, we held weekly or daily meetings at temple trees, wasting countless amounts of hours. However, all those meetings were speeches and there was no action which was taken, and what we are experiencing now is the result of the failure to do so. Since the very day we were elected into power, I emphasized to organize a conference at electoral level to raise awareness among the party supporters and maintain a healthy relationship with them. Sadly, the only times the party supporters were required was for the May Day rally, the party conference, and during the election period. And the results of these actions, the party supporters have made it clear. It's been just over a month since we suffered an election defeat. Unfortunately, you have not even made an attempt to thank the party supporters, candidates, provincial councillors and organisers who committed themselves for the election. The reason for that is because you operate with an attitude which is, if you want, elect me as your Prime Minister. If not, just stay idle. I am clearly aware the leaders who hold responsible positions in the party have neglected the party supporters, and that is because they have their own personal agendas. In conclusion, I have to mention something about me as well. My present office was the garage at Sirikota. It was I who built it, purchased office equipment and converted it into an office space. I operated as nobody from within that confined space. I was not given any official task or responsibility. If I have to ask what I have not done for you since the 10th of January 1985, you would not be able to respond to that. However, your conscience would know what I have done for you. When I tried to resign from my position on several previous occasions, you told me, so that you can create something different. You are a leader who is talented and can execute responsibilities. Therefore, I need your services. The talented leader who you referred to back then was transformed into a person with no duty by none other than you. If you look at your own agenda, when you were not in power, you worked in a way to keep me at Sirikota forever. The same way you did for Sunil Magammana, who worked as your private secretary, as well as Sunil Premasiri and Samson. You would realize you made a mistake by evaluating me at their level, and it is with great sadness I say you will realize your mistake very soon. I committed myself to you, and if you have the heart to betray me in this manner, I strongly believe the people and the gods would approve of me working against you. I strongly believe, according to my conscience, this is not something wrong. However, when I identify my enemy, I will not remain patient at all. When Mahinda Rajapaksa was president, he called me on 3 separate occasions and requested that I join him. I have mentioned this to you as well. I will not become a traitor for mere benefits and privileges. During the riots in 1988, when death threats were leveled against you and when the personnel in your security detail abandoned you, I gave leadership to protect your life, putting my life on the line. When threats were leveled by Prabhakaran, I was fearless in protecting you, using the latest security tactics. I was with you like a shadow. I did not think about myself, but I thought about you and your life and stood for your safety day and night. Because of you, I became the Batalan, the murderer. I became the person who assassinated Gamini Atakorala. For you, I became the person who was responsible for the death of Rienzi Algama, the person who committed self-immolation opposite Sirikota. You did not even attend the funeral of Rienzi. I was humiliated and I was called your red-lipped lover. That was the wealth I accumulated. That was the prestige I was left with. Apart from that wealth, I do not own a house or a single perch. I do not even have another method of income. Up to date, I live in houses that my friends pay the rent for. I have to move from one house to another like a gypsy after 2 years, because the house owners increased their rent after 2 years. But I am full of pride because my hands are clean. I possess the courage to get up when I fall. I was appointed as your personal secretary after I was a victim of political vengeance when Chandrika Bandaranaike Kumaratunga sent me on compulsory leave twice. The reason was my service for you and nothing else. I soon realized that you did not even have the heart to inquire into how I lived during these times when I was sent on compulsory leave without pay. There were 76 cases that were being investigated about me by the Criminal Investigations Department, including the bombing of the premises of the Municipal Council. Under your governments in 2001 and 2015, nothing happened to the political revenge that I underwent. I do not even have a pension today. When I brought this matter up with you, your response was to inform Sagala. When I did that, his response was to appeal to the Sirikota like everyone else. To this day, the documents are still at Sirikota. My peers are DIGs now. If this is the state I am in, what of the innocent people in the country and the party supporters? What will be their fate? I was your personal secretary. That position has now been dwindled down to a position called Special Assistant. I will not be petty enough to list out the injustices that you have done to me. I will require thousands of pages to write those, but I have felt on numerous occasions that I have been a fool to protect those secrets. I think it is a crime against the nation to continue to remain at Sirikota while being paid 53,000 rupees from the government, a vehicle and 22,000 rupees as a fuel allowance without actually doing any work. I can see that you along with your group of friends are dragging the country and the party to its grave. I will never forget the support that you provided by giving me 100,000 rupees in 1995 and admitting my daughter into ladies' college during your mother's funeral. I have forwarded the letter of resignation from the position of Special Assistant to the Secretary to the Prime Minister, Saman Ekanayaka, for relevant action. Finally, I would like to state that in my 33 years of service, I have not made a mistake or humiliated you in any way, knowingly or unknowingly. However, I have made thousands of enemies by trying to protect you. A person who was committed to you. One man gone. Sudat Chandrasekhara.
The United National Party is the single largest party in Sri Lanka and the main decision-making body of the party is Working Committee. The party's policies and programs are solely decided upon by the Working Committee.
The actions and conduct of the United National Party leadership can be considered as the reason why the party is day by day moving towards the brink of destruction. From the recent incidents, it is now clear the members in the Working Committee are the ones who protect the party leadership. Therefore, the people must know who are members in the Working Committee. Since 2010, Newsfirst has been reporting on this matter. The general public now must know the actions of the Working Committee. The members of the Working Committee are well known to the people. Starting today, we will be introducing to the country the members of the Working Committee, the elite decision-making body of the United National Party. Malik Samaravikrama, Sagala Ratnayaka, Akila Viraj Karyavasam, Kabir Hashim, Vajrabe Wardana, Lakshman Kiriyalla, John Amratunga, Harin Fernando, Daya Gamage and Thalata Atakorala.
The Organisation to Protect the United National Party convened a media briefing in Colombo today.
It's been almost 25 years since you took over the party. In these 25 years, you were defeated twice as a leader. The entire population has decided you are not suitable for this party and your time is up. Immediately hand over the leadership of the party to a young leader. The main reason for the humiliating defeat the UNP suffered at the recent elections was your failed leadership. If you do not leave, we will be compelled to flood Colombo with the masses from all over the country and launch a Satyagraha campaign. Do not make us take that decision. You said this issue will be solved through the Leadership Council. We have been with you for 25 years and we are well aware what your next trap is. Our hope is you step down as leader from the United National Party and not make changes to the tier below you. We need a strong youth leadership whose name will be mentioned across the villages. We need a leadership that can be made the presidential candidate in 2020. You wait and see. We will create a UNP president in 2020. We do not want changes in the positions below you. We need you to step down as a leader. You may continue as the Prime Minister, but we kindly request you to hand over the leadership to a young leader.
The United National Party managed to secure a majority of seats in both Galle and the Negombo municipal councils. However, the position of mayor at both these councils were won by the Sri Lanka Podujana Peramuna today.
A secret vote took place at the Galle Municipal Council today, and Priyantha Godagama Sahabandhu from the Sri Lanka Podujana Peramuna won the position of mayor with a majority of 9 votes. 20 votes were cast in favour of Sahabandhu. The Galle Municipal Council consists of 35 seats, and the UNP won 14 seats at the recent election. However, its mayoral candidate Philip Nishanta only secured 11 votes today. The UNP's Shauzul Niaz was unanimously elected as deputy mayor of the Galle Municipal Council. Daya Lanza from the Sri Lanka Podujana Peramuna was elected as the new mayor of Negombo. At the recent local government election, the United National Party won 19 seats, and the Sri Lanka Podujana Peramuna had only 16 seats at the municipal council. At today's vote, Daya Lanza secured 25 votes and was elected mayor. Mohammad Faris from the Sri Lanka Freedom Party was elected deputy mayor with a majority vote.
Deputy Minister of Ports and Shipping Affairs Nishantha Muthuhettigama commented on the no-confidence motion against Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe. The Deputy Minister is one of the 4 in government who signed for the no-confidence motion.
The entire country is disappointed in the Prime Minister, and that was evident in the recent elections. That is why we ventured into the process of removing the biggest obstacle in Parliament that prevents the development of the country. We will not stop this until the current Prime Minister goes home. A week after the local government elections, we informed the President we cannot continue working with this rogue. Fraud and corruption is taking place from within temple trees and not from the outside. The main accused in the central bank bond scam, Arjuna Mahendan, is inside temple trees and not overseas. The President will take the decision about ministerial positions. If the President decides we all should go home with the no-confidence motion, we will do that as well. We took this decision after considering all those factors. The damage made to the country is far greater than ministerial positions. Everyone in the Sri Lanka Freedom Party except for 1 or 2 support this. A group from the United National Party is also supporting this. Several other groups are also supporting us. The JVP has agreed to give their full support. Mahinda Rajapaksa will definitely vote for this.
There has been a lot of debate on what type of majority is needed to approve the no-confidence motion brought against Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe. We inquired from senior lawyer Gomin Dayasiri in this regard.
The problem is very simple. All you got to look at is at the Constitution and at the standing orders. The Constitution is very specific. It gives you instances where a 2/3 majority is necessary and a number of members who should vote for it. So in all other cases, it's a simple majority is all that you require, and in the number of MPs who vote is irrelevant. Now the standing orders help us further. It says we should follow the principles that are followed by the House of Commons. That's not the House of Lords, the second house that is like the Parliament in Sri Lanka. So this is not a simple case. It's a very easy answer. You need just 1 vote to win.
Minister of Law and Order Ranjith Maduma Bandara expressed the following views during a media briefing today.
අද උදේ වාර්තාවක් ආවා භාණ්ඩාගාරිකතුමා ඉවත් වුණා කියලා ඉල්ලා අස්සුණා කියලා. ඒ වගේම සභාපතිවරයාත් ඉල්ලා අස්සුණා කියලා.
නෑ ඒ දෙන්නෙන් කවුරුත්. None of them resigned. I do not know what reforms the party will adopt, but they have not resigned as yet.
එහෙම කවුරුවත් ඉල්ලා අස්සෙලා නෑ. ඒකයි කිව්වා මේ පැහැදිලිව නායකත්වයේ වෙනසක් වෙන්න ඕන. රංජිත් මද්දුම බණ්ඩාර ඇමතිතුමා අඩුම තරමේ වැඩ බලන නායකයා වශයෙන් හරි
People can express their views, but we have a leader. We will not follow the agendas of those who want to create a crisis within the party. Please do not ask unnecessary questions.
A few days ago, Newsfirst highlighted that nearly 75% of the drinking water supply in the Nuwara area has been contaminated with sewage. Unfortunately, the situation remains unchanged today.
The Piduru-Talagala Reserve and the Kikiliyamana Reserve are the main water sources that supply water to the Nuwara Eliya area. The water gathered from these sources are stored in a tank and purified with chlorine. Area residents note that these water sources and tanks remain in protected areas high above human settlements. However, the underground pipes in the Nuwara Eliya town, which were laid during the time of the British occupation, are a totally different story. Most of these pipes are in a dilapidated state and are at risk of being contaminated. A recent inspection by the Director General of Health in Nuwara Eliya revealed that some vendors and businesses in the town directly dispose their waste and fecal matter to the canals in the area. A test conducted on a number of water samples revealed the presence of E. coli bacteria in the drinking water supply. However, this dangerous situation has not drawn the attention of the relevant officials.
The people in this village who engage in the tourism industry are dealt a huge blow by this. I cannot point the finger at anyone because the toilets and canals in Nuwara Eliya are all very unclean today. We have very old canals and pipelines. We have serious doubts that the fecal matter gets mixed with our drinking water. Our children constantly face abdominal pain and related diseases.
Meanwhile, residents living along the banks of the Kalin River in close proximity to the Kodagamanana Thotupala complain that the water in the river remains black. Area residents charge that waste discarded from factories in Sitavaka export processing zone seep into the Kalin River through the Kirandavala Alla. Incidentally, there is only 10-kilometer gap between the location where the pollutants are being dumped and the Pugoda Water Purification Center.
We informed the officials of this yesterday as well, but no one has taken any steps. The black color of this water which flows into the Kalani River has not changed. We got together into groups and informed the BOI and the water board about this, but there is no change.
A special walk was organized in line with World Water Day in Colombo yesterday. The walk commenced from opposite the Vihara Mahadevi Park. Following the walk, the group made a pledge to conserve and protect water. The group also engaged in a tree planting ceremony.
The annual convocation of the Bandaranaike Centre for International Studies was held yesterday.
The convocation was graced by the chairperson of the SWRD Bandaranaike National Memorial Foundation and former President Chandrika Bandaranaike Kumaratunga. Students of the postgraduate diploma, higher diploma, diploma and certificate international relations programs who excelled in their programs of study were awarded medals of distinction and certificates.
We believe at the BCIS that international relations is not only an essential subject, but it is the lifeline for a country such as ours. We therefore have resolved to build the BCIS as the center of excellence for the study and research of international relations in Sri Lanka. It is a matter perhaps for regret that only a very few amongst our universities even have a faculty of international relations.
And I think 2015 was an important year for our foreign policy. But we have sorted out the issues concerning the human rights in Sri Lanka. At least we have come to agreements, and it's a question of implementing it, which we have to do slowly but gradually. It has allowed us, therefore, to look at the world again and look at our relations in the new Asia. We have good relations with India, with Japan and China. Relations built up over the last 70 years. I have not come across many countries in the region which have the same level of relations with India, Japan and China as we have. We have to safeguard that. With each one, it's been an independent relationship. Never try to play one against the other. You will lose. There are those who think that you can play India against China, China against Japan, but you also forget that they talk to each other. And if they become wise, they'll fix you. So it's far better to go on the line that we are doing now and keep deepening and strengthening our relations with all these three countries. While we keep our good relations with all these countries, three countries, we have to understand the nature of the rivalry and that we should not get caught into that rivalry.
The Prime Minister also spoke on the Mattala airport.
Then others want to know why I'm negotiating with an Indian company in running the Mattala airport. For the simple reason that we can't find traffic ourselves. And the only offer came from an Indian company. And the best, India is our neighbor. And if they develop the airport, certainly we'll have more traffic come and a profitable airport in the long term. In the meantime, the security of that airport is the Sri Lankan Air Force. So what we have now is the infrastructure for the development of Hambantota, both an airport and a seaport. A lot of people don't see it that way. As far as we maintain our neutrality and we maintain our friendships, we have no problem. I've always told all the governments that our policy is economic friendships. But we also have a special relations with India as far as security is concerned. We will not allow our territory to be used in a manner that is adverse to the security of India, and India will not allow its territory to be used in a manner that is adverse to the security of Sri Lanka.
The Embassy of Sri Lanka in the Russian Federation recently held a gala dinner reception in commemoration of the 70th Independence Day of Sri Lanka.
Over 175 guests gathered, among whom were officials of numerous Russian government authorities, SAARC, ASEAN and CIS countries, academics, representatives of Sri Lankan and Russian business sectors, tourism industries and other agencies. The chief guest of the reception was Igor Morgulov, Deputy Minister of Foreign Affairs of the Russian Federation. The event featured entertainment that added color to the night.
Without such close and productive cooperation which we have established with the Russian government, it would not have been possible for us to achieve such a remarkable progress in bilateral relations between our two countries. Thank you once again for contributing to the development of Sri Lanka.
In the framework of the 70th Independence Day dinner reception, a token of appreciation by the Minister of Foreign Affairs of Russia was presented to the Sri Lankan ambassador, highlighting the distinguished and dedicated service towards development of the bilateral relations. A token of appreciation to Ramaz Chanturia, chairman of the Tea and Coffee Association of Russia, was also presented during the event.
Views were expressed on the motion of no confidence and the state of the economy in Parliament today.
The mastermind of the theft continues to remain as Prime Minister. If the UNP MPs wish to lift the curse, if they want to put a stop to this journey that is being undertaken, where separate systems and laws are being introduced to commit crimes, we have given you an opportunity on the 4th. There are several people who are in Parliament right now who received bags full of money recently. One person was given a bag at the Kingsbury Hotel. From what I gather, the game will be played after obtaining the bags. The person sitting in the 4th chair in the front row gave those bags. Minister Kiriella, you are obtaining signatures for the motion of confidence. It appears a considerable number have not won that faith.
ඒකේ දැන් සභානායක කතා කරලා තියෙනවා. 100ක්. අයියෝ 100ද? ඒ කියන්නේ තනිකර හරි. මට ආරංචි 68යි කියලා. ඒ කියන්නේ තනිකර එක්සත් ජාතික පක්ෂයේ එක්සත් ජාතික පෙරමුණේ අය. මට ආරංචි 68යි කියලා. තව රිසර්ව් ඉන්නවා බර ගන්න. හොඳයි. පක්ෂයේ නෑනේ 100 බොරු කියන්න එපා. UMP 100ක් නෑ. පක්ෂයේ 82යි ඉන්නේ. මොකද අනේ ලදරු වලිප්පුවද? මේ වගේ తాවකාලික තෘප්තියක් ලබා ගන්න පුළුවන් 4 වෙනිදා වෙනකම්.
You admitted the economy collapsed because you followed certain things introduced by foreigners. Who executed the tasks that led to the collapse of the economy? Was it you as the finance minister or the present finance minister?
When I was the finance minister, such things never happened. Did it happen or not? You can think about it. The issue with cabinet is that they are sometimes all talk. They don't implement things. That is where you go wrong. Even if the government changes, the officials will remain.
Do you mean to say every government puts the central bank in trouble?
Yes, I accept that 100%.
With that, we wrap up Primetime News. I'm Bernadine Jayasinghe.
I'm Chaturanga Puarachi. Take care and good night.